always feel like I have to start by saying, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Minton. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thank you, folks, for coming. Today is the moment that we've been waiting for, when we cleared the final bureaucratic hurdle to implement congestion pricing. You know, 20 years ago, and it was in the George W. Bush administration, the federal government put forward the value pricing pilot program, which specifically encouraged localities to come up with new ways to improve traffic and specifically to overcome and reduce congestion. Now, almost 2 decades later, we're here with an agreement between all of the local parties, the city, the state, the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority, the MTA, to advance that vision, to have a central business tolling program that does attack the traffic problem and does deal with air quality and safety and so many things. This is an exciting moment. And as part of that agreement, the Federal Highway Administration also approved the reevaluation of the phase-in feature of our tolling program that the governor rolled out last week. Now, standing here, this is special because we're standing in what is the temple of mass transit in the United States. This is America's transportation hub, Grand Central Terminal, where the Long Island Railroad, Metro North, so many subways, and the bus system all come together right where we're standing. So I'm proud that we're standing here at a moment where we're talking about delivering better transit for more people, safer streets, and cleaner air for all, along with reduced congestion. Everybody knows this has been a long journey getting to this point, and it has me thinking about 2 groups of people in particular, all of the New Yorkers who are going to benefit from this initiative, and that's a huge group, but also all the people who worked so hard to make this happen, going back 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago. You know who you are, and I hope you folks are taking a moment to be proud of yourselves. Now, while this policy is obviously controversial, I hope New Yorkers, whatever their opinion, can recognize that this is a significant moment when we are saying that we can do things to address the big challenges that we as a city and as a region face. Like the City of Yes initiative, which had a significant milestone yesterday, a milestone, by the way, that was helped over the finish line again by Governor Hochul. Congestion pricing says that we're not just going to keep putting our head in the sand about the impact of congestion. We're not going to pretend that we don't have a limited amount of room on our streets, that we're going to do something about the problems that congestion is creating, and with it, improve our transit. That is a big part of the message of today, and I'm thrilled about that, as well as everything else. So with that, turn it back over to the star of the show, Mr. Minton, for question time.
Actually, the star of the show is Justin Lee, very loud, and he's here with Andrew Siff from WNBC.
Mr. Chairman, question for you. There wasn't a lot of suspense about the feds signing off today. Where there still is uncertainty is on the court side of things. We now know a federal judge in Manhattan has set a hearing for December 20th, at which he could issue a temporary restraining order and block this program. How concerned are you this could still be blocked?
We always knew that we were going to have to deal with the challenges from all these lawsuits that would come to the very last step, which is the one we've just achieved. So we always knew we were going to have a series of court processes associated with this last step. Not a surprise. It so happens that Judge you mentioned, Judge Lyman, actually looked at everything we've done so far and issued a 100-plus page opinion that said this was by the book and approved what we have done so far. But now he has to rule on that this last step, and we accept it, and obviously we're comfortable going into that litigation.
All right, over to Lauren Glassberg from Channel 7, Eyewitness News. Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Chano. Just to follow up to what Andrew asked today, the town of Hempstead filed a lawsuit directed at the MTA saying that there should have been a 45-day process and that was circumnavigated to sort of jam this through.
I haven't seen the lawsuit, but you know, there was a there's so many processes, but one of them was this state-required public information process, which was paused and now has been resumed. So I'm confident we have complied with that. You know, you never know what the town of Hempstead's going to do. They're moving backwards and restricting housing and taking action against transit and transit-oriented development. I'm never surprised by what comes out of that bunch.
I guess the follow-up then would be the webinars that you're hosting.
Yeah, we're doing.
Could you talk a little bit more about when the first one is and what you expect?
Listen, I'll have to get back to you on the specific dates. We put it out on the web. We're doing 7 webinars for the public to get more information about congestion pricing. Really important to that, not just, you know, it's not another public hearing. We want the people, and there are a lot of them, who qualify for the 100% exemption for disability, you know, people with disabilities, to know how to get that. Including if someone's driving you, how that vehicle and that driver gets that exemption, and also how folks who are in the low-income category can qualify for that big discount. So a lot of that webinar will be devoted to making sure people understand the enrollment process so everybody can take advantage of that.
Yeah, we'll get you the release on that, Lauren. There's a release, I think it's December 4, Wes.
Yeah.
Parnell from the New York Times.
Hey, thank you so much. So there's obviously a number of lawsuits, specifically regarding New Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you foresee any problems there? Are you in conversations with our neighbors across the Hudson? Any problems that might arise from that lawsuit?
Well, again, I think we're comfortable that we followed all the rules. You look at Judge Lyman's opinion, which was issued a few months ago. I think it was in late June, about the environmental assessment process, that 4+ year, 4,000-page study that we did. He gave us a clean book of health on what we had done. But obviously, there's all other litigations, and we're confident, but they'll have to run their course as well.
Okay, let's go to Sam Liebman right here from New York One. Sam.
Hi, Jana. I just want to understand the process. When did you submit the new paperwork? How long was the reevaluation, or was there a reevaluation?
Yeah, I mean, we had to submit the paperwork, especially on the new phase-in feature, and we did that, and they looked at it, and it was approved. So I'm not going to characterize the federal government's process, but obviously we submitted and satisfied all their bureaucratic and paperwork requirements, and now we've actually entered into an agreement with the federal government, which they signed off on, under the law that's been in effect for 20+ years. That's a pretty solid agreement.
What was the timeline, though? Like, how quickly did they sign off on it?
And I don't know the specifics. We've been, feeding them information on an ongoing basis that's consistent with the relationship that's gone on for quite some time.
All right, we're going to close it out with Evan Simko-Bednarski, the New York Daily News. Evan.
Hey, Jano. So is it fair to characterize this as sort of the end of any of the major roadblocks? I know there's still some public education that needs to happen. Help my readers understand what goes on behind the curtain between now and January 5th.
Yeah, I think the bureaucratic or process roadblocks, you're right. That is the end of that element of this process. What we've got to do is make sure everybody who is going to participate in this has full information, both about exemptions and discounts, where the toll will apply, what the discounts are, because remember, for a lot of the day, the discount is 75%. We're trying to encourage people to come in at night, especially trucks, to reduce congestion by having more of those high-impact truck deliveries made at night. So we want everybody to know the program so that it can operate best and people can make choices. Included in that, we want them to know about the transit alternatives because right now, subway service is the best it's been in a million years. Both Long Island Railroad and Metro North are running at historic high on-time performance. And there's a lot of things that are attractive about transit. I want to make sure that folks know about those options as well.
All right, thanks, everybody. Jano's got somewhere to go. He's on his way to a meeting. Thank you, Jano. Thanks for coming.